Some people are confused about my IRS comment there because they didn't get the point of inflation, what's creating inflation. But what's going on is the Federal Reserve back in 1910, 1915 was created by the richest people in the world. They already controlled Congress through money, and the banksters, the richest people, wanted to create a atmosphere where they can make more money with fake money. So what they tricked Congress in doing, they said, look, we'll give you a checkbook to write whatever checks you want. You just pay us interest for whatever money you're going to use. So this is where the deficit came in. This is where the overspending of government came to play, because the IRS through the Federal Reserve created that. So one thing Congress did is they gave them, there's a name for it, I forget what the act is, they gave them the permission to counterfeit money, to print money worth nothing. So print money with no gold or precious metals backing the money itself. So the more they print, the less it's worth, the way it's been working. So after COVID and so on and so forth, they printed so much money, the value of the dollar dropped. That's why we're in record inflation right now, because all that money they printed and gave away. That's why the cost of everything has gone up exponentially, because the value of the dollar has dropped because they printed so much of that. And that's why I'm telling people, it's like you got to get a raise now. So if you're making $15 an hour, you probably need to be making pretty close to $25 an hour compared to the same amount of value of money, as little as 5 years ago. So what banks do too, so the Federal Reserve even tells the banks there's more regulatory stringent regulations against banks, because the Federal Reserve doesn't want banks to have a way of giving money to people that need it without agreeing that they're following certain rules and regulations. It's why government can actually monitor what you're doing. It's why before, when you got a house mortgage, you didn't have to prove your income with a IRS 1040 income statement. You just went there with your paycheck, good credit report, and the bank will give you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, after the mortgage crisis, they blamed that on the people because they were claiming income they didn't have, but realistically, the banks weren't policing it. So now you have to follow your 1040s, which is, in my opinion, illegal anyway. Income taxes is a big scam that I don't think is legal and unconstitutional. But banks, what the Federal Reserve and the IRS did to the banks, they said, look, if you have $100,000 in savings that people deposit in your bank, we're going to give you authorization to loan $1 million. So if you only have $10,000, you can loan out $100,000. So the banks are loaning money that really doesn't exist, yet they're charging you interest. So think about it. If the money's worth nothing, and they're loaning money that's worth nothing, besides you having this thing worth something, able to purchase things with, it doesn't cost anybody anything. So why are they charging you interest? Where does the interest come from if there's no cost in using that besides the labor in the banks? But that's how the banksters make their money, and more of this phony money, because they're able to then charge you interest for something that doesn't exist and just keep on printing more of it too. There's a book out there called Creatures of Jekyll Island. If you search Glenn Beck, Creatures of Jekyll Island, there's a YouTube video out there that explains the whole starting of the Federal Reserve and how it got going. And also, if you want to learn the unconstitutionality of the IRS and income tax, go to Freedom Law School. The guy has a bunch of ex-IRS agents there doing videos and talking about how the whole IRS system is illegal. He'll actually pay you $300,000 if you can prove to him paying income tax is legal. That's my 4-minute video today. Thanks for listening.